So today at church, we were talking about being consistent and how being consistent leads to stability. And it really resonated with me because there's a ton of areas in my life that I need to become more consistent in, that I may have stability. And I was thinking about it because there are times I'm more consistent in some areas than others. And I was thinking about it like, what is a barrier? What hinders me from being consistent? And the number one thing that hinders me from being consistent is my emotions. I have a tendency to stay in my feelings. For example, I've been on this workout journey for probably the last 15 years. There are spurts that I've been consistent, and there are spurts that I've been inconsistent. In both of those instances, the reason why I was consistent is because of how I felt. I was so excited, I was motivated, I was seeing results, so I was consistent. When I became inconsistent is based on how I felt. I was busy, I felt like I didn't have enough time, I didn't feel good, so I was inconsistent. And so at church today, as I was sitting here listening to the man of God talk about how consistency leads to stability, and of course he had scriptures, I got so convicted and I got excited because it's never too late to change. It's never too late to make changes. And I realized a lot of areas in my life where I am consistent. I have been consistent in my business for several years. I have a small cleaning company called Made from Above. And because of my consistency in working my business and believing in myself in the business, my consistency in striving to get more business, I have seen stability. I'm so proud of my little small business. It has sustained my household. It's me and the kids. It has sustained my household for the last 6 years with no supplemental income. And it lets me send my kids to private school. So I'm so grateful. But had I not been consistent in working my business, I wouldn't have the stability that I have. And so now I need to transfer that to other areas of my life. And just let me tell y'all, there are so many areas that I need to become more consistent in. My prayer life. Now, I do pray, but I need to become more consistent when I pray. Because if I'm more consistent in my prayer life, then my emotions are more stable. I need to become more consistent in just finances and in my budgeting and sticking to a budget. I need to become more consistent in my eating, that I may be healthy. There's a lot of foods that I shouldn't eat, a lot of food intolerance that I have, but I eat them because of how I feel. I feel hungry, so I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat. But no, I need to be more consistent in my eating. I need to be more consistent in my physical fitness and me working out so I can maintain a healthy body so my health can be stable. I'll be 43 this year. My body is aging and I am starting to see it. Let me tell y'all, I'm starting to get my little grays. I start seeing my little discoloration, starting to discolor even more. And so stability is not going to stop. Stability in me working out is not going to stop the aging process, but I can feel great while I age and I can age gracefully. And consistency is not easy. Like I said, a barrier personally for me, for my inconsistency, is my feelings. I can say, depending on what it is, finances, kids, time, whatever, but those are kind of excuses. But for me, one of the key barriers to my consistency is how I feel. I do it when I feel like doing it, and I don't when I don't feel like doing it. Now, granted, over the years, I have gotten so much better in going past how I feel. God always tells me, step out of your feelings and step into faith. Everything is not based on how you feel. First of all, our feelings are fickle. They change at a moment's notice. I don't know about y'all, but I done felt every emotion known to man like within 30 seconds. So feelings are great. Feelings are great, but they can also be a hindrance. They can also be a nuisance. They can also be great barriers to those things that we have to do. And so I'm so excited to start my consistency journey. I just registered to go back to the training camp to work out that I was in, whether I feel like it or not. Because here's the thing, I can't wait till I feel like it. We may never feel like it. There are some things I never feel like doing. There are some things I don't. I'm going to tell you, when I had a long day at work, sometimes I don't feel like coming home and be a parent. Like, I love my babies, but you just want to go home, grab something to eat, and watch Netflix. There are times I don't feel like coming to work. I never feel like coming to work. But I got bills. I have financial obligations, so I have to come to work. So if I can transfer the stability that I have in my business and working my business into all the other areas of my life, man, life's gonna be smooth sailing. But I'm so grateful for a word today that convicted me and energized me. And it was even further confirmation. I have two people helping me with something, and they both mentioned the word consistent. Like, I have to be consistent. In order to see growth in anything, we have to be consistent. Like, I've been trying to grow my hair. It's getting there. I got some hang time, but I have to be consistent in my hair care routine. I've been working on my skin and my face. I have to be consistent in my skincare regimen. Now, I'm going to tell y'all one area, and I haven't had to take antibiotics in a long time, but I would get sinus infections a lot. And I would get down to like the last 2 pills. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I don't like taking medicine anyway. Don't take those last 2 pills. And guess what? A couple months later, what I got again? A sinus infection, because I was inconsistent based on how I felt. I felt better. But just because I felt better doesn't mean that the infection was gone. So I'm gonna encourage you, don't be inconsistent in taking your medication or even just drinking water, because you may think you feel better, but that doesn't mean it's gone. So I'm learning to be inconsistent. I'm be consistent in those areas and not be inconsistent for my well-being. So I challenge you all, whoever's watching, to find an area in your life on today. It may be several, it may be one. And to come up with an action plan for that area on how you can be more consistent, what steps you can take to be more consistent. When I leave here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home and say, hey, what are the areas I need to be consistent in? And maybe I'll just pick one for today. I don't want to overwhelm myself, but what can I do to be more consistent so I'll have stability? It could be my finances, or putting more money up, or whatever I came up with to put up in my savings. How can I be more consistent in doing that so I can have financial stability? How can I be more consistent in my physical fitness, in my eating well, that I may have stability in my health? Not just in my physical health, my spiritual health, mental health, emotional health. How can I be more consistent in my prayer life? How can I be more consistent in the Word of God? How can I be more consistent in the fasting to help with that spiritual portion of my life? I dare to say nobody that is extremely successful got there doing things sporadically. There had to be a level of consistency. Even the amount of success and I'm so proud of my little business, even the amount of success I've had in my small business has come about because I have become consistent. I didn't say, you know what, ain't nobody clocking me to see if I clock in or seeing if I show up. I'm like, you know what, I'm not feeling it today. I'm just not gonna go to work. I'm just not gonna show up and clean. If I was inconsistent, I'd probably be homeless. And so I challenge you to find one area in your life. It can be as simple as working out. You may say, hey, I am going to do 10 squats 3 times a week. Do that consistently, and then you can add on, and then you can do more, and then you can do more, and then you can do more. And then you start to see with the consistency, your knees don't hurt anymore. Your legs are not sore. You're able to go lower than you ever thought you can go. And so I'm super excited to become more consistent, because I know with my consistency comes stability. Oh, these lights are motion activated. Oh, they're not going to come back on. I know that I can become more stable in my consistency, and that's going to lead to success, whether it be success in my business, whether it be success in my finances, whether it be success in my emotional health, mental health, whether it be success in my walk with God. So I challenge you to just pick one area. It doesn't even have to be anything huge, anything super significant. It may be as simple as drinking water. Let me tell y'all, I struggle. I have to be more consistent. So I've been carrying my Stanley around. Like, if I drink 3 of these, I think I'm going to be good. So I have to be more consistent in my water intake. But I'm super excited to challenge myself to become consistent, because God said with him, all things are possible. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So it's not impossible. We just can't rely on our feelings or whatever that thing is that hinders us from being consistent, that we may have stability. So again, I challenge you, pick one area that you want to be consistent with and come up with an action plan and leave it in the comments below. We got this.